Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Austin by Starlight, episode 20. Last we left off, our coterie, with specifically Lupe and Yvette, went out and did some personal errands on their own. And in doing so, Yvette ran into her good friend Randall, who stated that he might be in a bit of a pickle when it comes to his morality and the sort of clean record of his campaign so far. And Lupe decided that she wanted to go to the pub. And in doing so, though, they ran into a sort of pest named Tyler. Tyler convinced Lupe to talk with him on their own, and after a bit of talking together and reminiscing and getting to know each other once more, perhaps if another fire has been kindled, perhaps there's something to what's going on between them. Perhaps it's just the whims of an addict looking for his fix. But only Lupe knows the truth about what's going on here, as it is the impact of her bite that has beset him. It has thus made him a bit of a problem to have to deal with. Pax, on the other hand, has been doing a little bit of busy work for the Dawn. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, some errands, things that don't require a whole lot of supervision, nor do they require much in the way of checking in on again. Little things. Little things that a lackey might do. So perhaps there's been a bit of a shift. Perhaps perhaps the Dawn is putting her to busy work so that maybe things don't get stirred up more than they should be. Or perhaps it's just Pax reading into things that really aren't there. It could be all in her head. Who knows, though? But on this new night, the ladies have gotten together once more. Alistair has has made himself rather busy, attending to this and that of his own when it comes to busy work. So it leaves the three ladies to sort of get together once more and maybe discuss a few things that have been happening in the recent nights. And so I would like you three to make a rouse check for waking this evening.
Dark dice strikes again.
Oh, Yvette, you're getting hungry. What hunger are you at right now?
3.
3. Still manageable, but definitely feeling that little bit of a pit. Starting to feel about half as good as you should. While Pax, you're not any hungrier tonight, thankfully. You've been pretty lucky these last few nights, as the hunger hasn't really grown on you, despite being up to some busy work. And Lupe, it was hard enough finding a place to sleep, but thankfully this evening doesn't find you finding it even harder to get up. The van's a little roomier than a bathroom closet when it comes to spacious living. And perhaps that's what's it. You wake up with a little bit of ease. But the three of you are meeting up at the coterie house as Yvette has made it with a text message to each of you that there is a bit of a need to have a conversation. And so, after doing a little bit of your daily routine, you all find yourself at this house, the designated place for company, sometimes for sleeping, but definitely for meeting with your fellow coterie mates.
Yvette will end up making sure she is seated at the table facing the door, awaiting for Mademoiselle Cosette's arrival. As she does so, she prepares everything for the night. Probably the one thing that is more obvious than not is this evening she is wearing a bulletproof vest. Something that she doesn't normally wear, but at this point, perhaps she's looking to go to work. She currently wears one. Not that it makes much of a difference for Kindred, but this would imply that it is more a masquerade day this evening.
At the door, you hear some concise knocks.
Entree?
And you will hear Lupe's voice on the other side of the door. Anyone home?
Oui, entree.
Opening up. Buenas noches, Mademoiselle Lecroix.
Merci. Bonsoir, Mademoiselle Flores. Please, have a seat.
And going ahead, taking the seat, making sure the door is properly closed, locked, anything else.
No need to lock it. I am expecting another to arrive shortly.
Oh, my bad.
No. It's quite all right. I appreciate the concern and the diligence to the small details. Please, you have a seat. I have been putting some thought into what has been requested of you. After all, the meeting with the Baron has left you somewhat indebted, right?
See, I've been trying to think about what I could possibly provide. I did notice that Baron Kane and I shared common interest. Antiques, artifacts, items of interest, as he put it. And
have you found one appropriate for one of his station?
I'm afraid not. In all honesty, it's actually pretty hard to track down things like that.
I'd imagine so, especially with the collector as aggressive as himself. It's hard to find something he hasn't already purchased or has acquired through other means.
And I'm afraid I don't know enough about him otherwise to really offer anything.
And that is where I wish to assist you, mademoiselle. While it is not what you are hoping for, perhaps it will buy you time to be able to do so, if it is of interest to you.
It is. I mean, I feel bad asking once again for your assistance. You've been...
No, mademoiselle, it is what I am here for. The Mademoiselle Cosetta has said that you are a friend to the coterie, and so you are offered, until proven otherwise, all the amenities I would end up offering to a coterie member.
It means a lot.
In time, I will end up asking of you, but at this point, I would like to offer you a small thing. At this point, I have seized a asset that is that may be of importance to the barony. One who would assist in seizing the mortal reins of our baron's domain. As such, I would like you to end up telling him that the coterie has acquired such an asset, and we will be an intermediary for such an asset. It is a public figure of sorts, who I will end up... I'm sure you will be able to guess in time. Until then, she simply pulls out a card, and it slides it over. You are not to end up speaking of this to anyone until I have deemed it necessary. The card itself will be that of one Randall Pendrum.
Do I know that name, Coffee?
That's an intelligence politics.
Ooh, this is gonna suck. I have 1 dice in that, so I think I'll just auto-fail that.
Nope. That is not necessary. That you can, one success, know who he is.
Okay.
So if you want to roll it, you can roll it.
Intelligence politics, sure. Plonk, plonk.
And one success it is.
Holy shit!
You've heard the name before. In traveling on the radio, you have heard endorsements from a Randall Pendrum for as a campaigner for the U.S. Senate on behalf of Texas. And so you've heard his endorsements before on the radio.
Oh, isn't this a
He raises his hand, just quiet, just Lupe. At this exact moment, this point is going to end up stopping a kindred conflict in the domain. There are many interests, but I do not believe that the individual realizes that it is already claimed that by a coterie member whose fealty is owed to Baron Kane. As such, to make sure that there are no further misgivings, you are going to end up showcasing this. This aids in your ability to offer a gift, assists in his station, showcases your ability to scrounge when given a very tight deadline, and may in fact offer you some degree of clemency, as I very much doubt the Baron is expecting much from you. The fact that you are able to deliver such news, and of course you may claim your assistance. With your assistance, of course, you have claimed such a thing. And this will, in turn, solidify the ability to end up being sure that nothing is coming into conflict with other powers in amongst the kind of the city, or the kindred of the city. Power is a very delicate balance, Mademoiselle Flores. And one must be sure not to let old friends misstep into something that could harm relations further than they already are. And they are a suspicious bunch, after all. Justifiably so.
In your debt.
Think
Again.
nothing of it.
You always elude me, Mademoiselle Lacroix.
Pourquoi?
You always seem to have an answer. A direct approach. I feel like I've been undercover in everything I do. I'm envious.
Do not be. I perhaps would trade position with you. You are capable of being free. You are a kindred who can make a decision for yourself. I would say that you, even in your company, there are very few kindred who can claim the same. But if you have the guile, perhaps you can do more with this gift than simply claim a little bit of credit and be the messenger.
I'll see what I can do.
I look forward to hearing the results.
She holds the card rather dearly for a moment before putting it into a pocket inside of her jacket.
Remember, this is a showcase of goodwill to avoid the complications with the Dawn. You need not know the details of it from there. You need only know that at this point, knowing that there may be a complication to keep an eye out, and that you have the best interest of the barony in your view. It is a small step, but perhaps one that will end up allowing you some degree of leeway. My suggestion is that you not dally, as I will not be here long. I have my own events to cover, and I will be busy for quite some nights. Come back to me when you have an opportunity, and I will make it a point to see where we can go from here.
I'll do my best, and hopefully, in the next few nights, I can make good with the opportunities you've provided me thus far.
Allons-y.
I'd say it's at this point the Pax makes her entry. Opening the door and pausing there to go, oh, you're both already here.
Mademoiselle Cosetta, it's so good to end up seeing you again. I hope that the past few evenings have been well to you.
I've been busy.
I have no doubt.
What can I do for you?
Mademoiselle Flores was just leaving. I think it would be best if we did speak candidly.
Right. I will be back soon. I have to pay rent to the parents, so wish me luck.
Good luck.
Gracias. And Lupe will head out on her own.
All right. Leaving Pax in the event to speak candidly, as they said.
Pax kind of flops into the seat that Lupe just vacated.
It's so good to see you are back on your feet, mademoiselle.
I was never off my feet.
Well, at this point, you seem to be sitting.
Very funny. I didn't think you were a comedian.
I'm told humor is a good way to end up, what the Americans call it, breaking the ice.
Consider the ice broken.
Fantastic.
What can I do for you?
In lieu of recent events, I thought I would do you a courtesy. One of the dons has managed to accidentally get entangled with an interest of the Baron. Suffice it to say, an individual who is an asset that is at the Baron's disposal seems to have run afoul of the Dons individuals. What was his name? ST, help me. The individual who was the contact. The individual who was the one who ended up contacting Pendrum from the Dawn. I did get his name, but I forgot what his name was.
Oh, I forgot who that was too.
It was Michael or something like that.
Michael. Let me actually look at my list.
Was it Maurice?
Might have been Maurice.
Possibly Maurice.
Might have been Maurice.
Was it Maurice Ralto by chance?
Sounds accurate. Sorry. I
Yeah,
have to take that notes.
That's fine. We'll go with it.
Because Maurice was Pax's touchstone.
A individual by the name of Maurice.
Maurice.
Oui.
You got any more of the name than that?
I forgot the last name, but
Rialto.
Rialto. I am led to believe that this individual may be under the employ of the Dom. Given the recent circumstances, I don't think it is in the Don's best interest or in the Baron's best interest for these to run afoul.
So who was Maurice getting under the skin of? I mean, he's good at it, but
a particular politician who, if you must know, goes by the name Pendrum.
Pendrum.
Now, I am all for a hard day's work, and I recognize the work that you are in. I am looking to see if I can alleviate the circumstances before things boil over to a head. As such, I am led to believe that there is a considerable debt placed upon Pendrum. I wish to acquire this debt.
You want to take on Randall Pendrum's debt?
Me? It is quite simple. If the debt is paid, then there is no reason to continue. And more importantly, it does not end up giving a reason for the Don and the Baron to clash. I'm sure that the Don would be appreciative of still waters, given the recent nights.
Do you know what kind of debt Pendrum owes?
That is why I called you.
Find out. Okay.
Place
And
the
get
offer.
Maurice off his back.
And if it is, again, depending on the full nature of the debt, and I trust Maurice will be forthcoming. Of course, I will double check all sides of the story, but if everything checks out, I will gladly end up doing what I can to alleviate that debt. After all, we have time to do so.
I'll go have a chat with Maurice.
I figured you would be more appreciative of me coming to you with this than going directly to the Don.
Yeah. Actually, I am. All right. I'll have a chat with Maurice, see what I can do, see what I can find out for you.
Merci beaucoup. And with that in mind, how are you for feeding?
How are you for blood?
It is at your disposal.
I'm fine.
All I can do is offer, nothing more.
I appreciate it.
And Yvette would like to do a insight, specifically into the motivation. Is this a sign of appreciation, or is there a different reason that Pax is waving off a potential night to be able to not go hungry?
That is indeed a quandary. So that is going to be Wit's Insight for Yvette. And Pax...
It's deception.
Uh-huh. I figured. Manipulation subterfuge. Oh. My goodness, Yvette.
I will spend a willpower to reroll that one die. The crit.
To add more... Oh, to... You don't want a messy crit. Okay.
Just not messy crit.
Okay, so you're going to go with 3, and Pax only has the 1. Are you doing any willpowering, Pax?
No.
No. Okay.
I have a feeling she's going to need that.
Yvette? There's something else. She's not
Would
being
I be
truthful.
able to get any? Would I be able to get any more information from that roll? What the motivation is behind that, perhaps?
Yeah. What is your motive behind that, Pax?
She's attempting to put a bit of distance between her and Yvette.
Okay.
And she can't do that while there's blood involved and while she feels she's owing.
Yeah. You get the sense that she's not wanting to be indebted to you.
Yvette pauses for a moment. Yvette at that point will specifically move her chair to be completely opposite of the table with Mademoiselle Cosetta. Closes it down, sure to stand straight, not leaning in. Very well, Mademoiselle Cosetta. As you so wish. Until requested, I will not bother you again with such questions. It is a concern, but I understand your hesitation.
I appreciate it.
I am at the coterie service. I figured you would at least like to end up having this term inside baseball as to what was going on.
The inside knowledge is helpful. I've been a bit preoccupied, so I haven't really had a chance to dip my fingers into the pie.
Well, while you were preoccupied, it seems that my time to be preoccupied has also come. Excusez-moi. I have to be ready for work. And she
Have
kind
a
of pulls out her vest like as if it's a corset, saying, after all, I have to arrive fashionable.
have a good night and stay safe, Yvette.
I expect to be shot at least 5 times tonight. I consider it a more than a safe night.
Well, at least it's not 6.
I presume that they would save the final bullet for themselves.
Perhaps.
She starts walking towards the door, pauses for a moment after she opens it. Be well, Mademoiselle Cosette. I hope that the evening for you runs through, and I wish you best hunting. She
Pax
closes-
kind of leans back in the seat for a second, just thinking over Yvette's reaction to all that. She kind of chews on the inside of her mouth a little bit. This was all. Damn it, what's she trying to get at? She wants to be all buddy again. Expects that things go back to normal. It's not gonna happen. Nah, it's all just a play. That's all it is.
Couldn't just eat her. That would solve all our problems.
No, it wouldn't. She's useful. Which is a problem, because if I do need to get rid of her, it makes it a little bit harder to fill in the hole she leaves behind.
Couldn't just fill that
Okay.
hole with her blood.
With her blood.
Could eat.
Could eat.
Could eat.
But not right now. Right now, I need to go see Maurice and figure out what the fuck is going on with him and this politician, Kendra.
Boring.
Maybe not. She gets to her feet and she heads out. And she's going to give Maurice a call on her way out.
All right. And he does pick up after a few rings, as is customary on his business phone.
Hey,
Yeah.
Trouble.
What's up? Trouble?
Got time to meet up?
I got a little bit of time. Why?
I gotta talk some business with you.
Okay, where you want to meet?
Usual spot.
All right. Something that you want to talk about privately, or just kind of casual like?
Well, it's business, so private might be good.
Right. I'm just trying to determine how private. So,
How private do you want it to be?
what? Ew.
Oh, did I offend your delicate sensibilities?
You're like family to me, so yes.
All right, I'll see you there ASAP.
Jesus. Weirdo. And he hangs up the phone. All right. Lupe is off to go see Baron Kane. All by her lonesome. But Pax is going to go meet with Maurice, and Yvette is going to go and schmooze with some politicians tonight. So, let's see. Where do we go first? Let's go... Let's go see... Yeah, let's check... Let's do Pax and Maurice. So, meeting up, the two of you meet at the given spot, the usual spot as you call it, and it's kind of a quiet little alley in the kind of center of town, and you you kind of drive up there with the with with a bit of ease. It's not too hard to get to, and it's still within kind of the sort of border ground between where Don Hernandez's pseudo territory is kind of mixed in with Baron Cade's. So there's, while it might be kind of a blurry line, it's still within the context of both, and so it's not like you're stepping on anybody's toes to venture out this way. And so you find this little corner, and you find Maurice there, kind of waiting for you. Kind of looks like he's staring at his phone for a moment, and when you drive up, he quickly, oh, pardon me, closes it and sticks it back in a pocket. He's wearing kind of a t-shirt with some old jeans, kind of a bit of a rugged look to him. His beard is pretty well kept, and he looks like he has a regular day job. Looks like a regular old guy. And so you start to walk up towards him. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm alright. What about you?
I've been better. Hey,
Oh.
I've had word that you've got some interest with a politician in the local area. Andrew?
I've heard of him. Why?
I heard that you were wrapped up in some business with him.
I mean, yeah. Who doesn't? Who doesn't have their hands in a politician's pocket? Or the other way around.
I got somebody that's interested in taking on Pendrum's debt.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold up.
And they're
Hold on.
wanting to know the details.
Let me see if I got this straight here. So, I'm sure Pendrum put you up to this, right? How do you know
No.
Pendrum?
I know somebody that knows Pendrum that also knows that I am part of the family.
Oh my god, so many fingers.
So many fingers?
Yeah.
You counting how many are going to be cut off?
Well, I'm hoping not. Jeez.
But they want to know the details of the debt before they commit to taking it on.
Well, he's hot on the campaign trail. That much I know for certain. The exact dollar amount, no idea really, because that's kind of the boss's thing, but I facilitate contact, and they kind of have negotiated things from before that. I mean, I have a rough idea, but...
What's your rough idea?
Hang on. I mean, one step at a time, sis. let's back this up a little bit here. Who is looking to take on the debt?
One of my associates.
One of your associates.
Yeah,
You have associates?
I do.
I mean, I know the boss kind of plays nice with you, but start.
What, you don't trust that I know some people?
Well, I trust that you know some people, but
You don't trust that I know some people with their hands in all kinds of places.
I don't want this to sound sexist. But you're a woman.
Yeah,
You're not made.
yeah, and that puts me in a very unique position, Maurice.
Yeah, bottom of the pecking order.
Disposable, but also in a position where I'm not as touchable. Cops can't get me from being one of the family.
Why would I give this to you?
There's certain political points at play that might cause some issues for the Dawn if it's not fixed up, which is why my associate would like to take on the debt.
Which is one of the
They have
reasons
some
why I have a
interests.
guy casing him.
Yeah. Which is causing problems.
According to my guy, he's not had any problems yet.
Yeah. I might be at the bottom of the pecking order, Maurice, but you're also pretty close to the bottom.
Yeah.
We
And
both have things we don't see. Right? You
I'm
play one side of things, I play another. I mean, if I gotta bother the boss with this, I will, but
look, I'm just on I acquired this because it kind of fell in my lap. I know
so
a guy who knew the guy. So it made sense. So why would I give that to one of your associates? Is what I'm asking. Is how do I know that this is in the family's best interest, and how do I know that you're not going to screw me?
Maurice, have I ever been a question
No, and
when it
that's what
comes to the
scares me.
family's interest?
Because there are people who are, yeah, damn near cutthroat and just as nice.
Nice. When have I ever been nice? Maurice, you used to bring me people for me to cut the fingers off of.
Yeah, because that's what you're good
I'm
at.
not, I'm not nice.
Okay, so
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You help me. Imagine how good that makes you look.
that doesn't make me look good at all. That
It does, actually.
makes me look like a suck ass.
No. See, if I can get this information, I can get this associate to pay off the debt. This looks good for Pandra. It looks good for you because you've collected early. You've thwarted an issue that I really can't go into. It makes you look damn good in the boss's eyes. Sort things out so he doesn't have to get his hands dirty.
And what, you're coming to me with this because what, he sent you on an errand because you're just that, you're his little errand slut?
Watch your tongue, Maurice. But, boss didn't send me on this. I'm doing you a good one. I'm doing you a service. Like I said, I could have just taken this to the boss. But he's busy with his own shit.
As
You're
I
in on
recall.
this. And known to be in on this.
And I'm looking to make big.
So what are you looking to make big with? Tailing Pendrum? Getting him all fucking stressed out?
We're basically paying for his campaign trail packs.
And?
And he wins the Senate? He pays us back. Triple.
Only if he wins Senate.
And if he doesn't? That's not on
So
me. That's something that you're more likely to handle.
here's a question. If you let him off the hook, take on this deal my associate's offering, Pendrum likes you more, doesn't he? Because he's not so scared of you. Debt gets paid back, and you've still got him in your pocket.
I don't know, Banks. That sounds a lot like sidestepping the boss.
I could go to the boss.
How sure are you that this associate of yours can buy out the debt?
They wouldn't have offered if they couldn't.
I don't know. I think I have to meet the person first.
I can organize that.
Yeah, face to face might work better.
She pulls out her phone right there and then, and she actually goes to call Yvette.
I imagine Yvette is currently standing on guard,
Mm-hmm.
just just inside the room where her touchstone is, where Pendrum is. When she gets this, she looks around, double checks that everything is secure before answering,
Mm-hmm.
and just in case, she places herself in the window to obscure any outside shots that may be taken to body block any potential harm that may arrive. Bonsoir.
Hey, Yvette. It's Pax. I've got my friend standing in front of me, and he wants to meet you in person before he goes forward with anything. You interested in having a conversation?
Very.
When are you
Alright.
free?
Yvette thinks over her schedule and gives Pax an adequate time. Given the fact that out of character, I don't know what would be an adequate time.
Probably
between
sometime
when-
after midnight. That's
By
when
that point, the kind of a shift change happens.
a shift change or the event's going to be over and he's going to be going home and there's some kind of shift change there. He's rubbing
can hear
shoulders
Pax.
with a lot of different politicians right now.
You can hear Pax mention that to Maurice as he's standing right there in front of her, the time. Is that good for you?
Yeah, I can squeeze it in.
Très bien.
All right. We'll get this sorted then.
Very good. She hangs up the phone. Which would probably be odd to Pax, given that Pax is used to seeing Yvette being very polite, saying good night and all this. This was just a hang up as soon as the information was done.
Well, sounds like a
See you
lovely
later.
lady.
Oh, she's delightful.
Why do I hint sarcasm?
Not so much sarcasm.
You don't
Things
like her,
between
though.
her and I, no, just been a bit tense of late.
When things get tense with you, Pax, it means you don't like somebody.
I wouldn't say that. I've had people I've been tense with that I haven't minded.
Remind me of when that was last.
A couple weeks ago. Tonight.
Are you talking about with
But
this
you,
person specifically, or are you talking about somebody like me?
no, somebody else.
Oh.
One of the boss's guests.
Oh. You never liked one of the boss's guests? I've always found his guests pleasant.
I didn't particularly dislike them. I just didn't get along with them initially.
There's a distinct difference.
Well, I just don't always get along with Yvette.
Then why associate with her?
Because she's useful and she knows a lot of stuff. She's got fingers in all sorts of places.
Yeah, but it's that.
I'm sure you'll be able to see what I see when you meet her.
Does that mean she's running the show or you?
Depending on which angle you're looking at it from.
I mean, I don't know what your angle is wanting to do this.
It benefits me. It benefits her. Benefits a few other people I know. And it benefits the boss.
I still don't understand how.
Well, I'm sure she can explain it better than I can.
Here's hoping.
So, I'll meet you back here at the time.
All right. You been holding up okay?
As well as can be expected. I saw my father the other night. That was fun.
Yeah, I heard he's Julian's playing chauffeur.
Yeah, how much about that do you know?
All I know is that the cops got eyeballs on him, on Lorenzo, and Julian's making sure they don't.
What did he do to get the cops on him?
Fuck if I know. That's beyond my pay grade.
Fuck, that seems so hush-hush.
You know how it is. Maid guys don't talk to their captains.
Yeah.
Need to know basis. That's basically how the whole thing works, right?
Well, it keeps the wrong information out of the wrong hands.
Exactly. Never much liked your dad. Always
You
came off
want
as
a
a
man?
sleaze.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Oh yeah, I know. You don't
What do
like
you
him.
know?
You don't like him. That's enough for me. I don't need to know the
Fair enough.
details. I just need to know that he's trouble.
Well,
How in the fuck? How in the
trouble he
fuck?
might be, but you know he's always going to put the family first. Always.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
What do you mean?
You can't tell me that you don't think of yourself first sometimes too, right?
No. Thinking of the family first benefits me more than thinking of myself before anything. Why on earth would I put myself before everybody else in this group? It's because of the family that I stay safe. Why? Have you put yourself first?
No.
You're going to tell me you haven't been skimming off the top of things.
No.
Can I insight that, please?
If you can.
Where is that? There it is.
Let's see. He is. He's being both forthcoming, but also a little bit. It's more of an omission sort of thing.
Maurice, what didn't you do?
Nothing. I've done everything that I've
And,
been asked.
and what did you do that you didn't get asked?
Wouldn't you like to know? He gives you with a grin.
I would.
Look,
Remember, it's my job to get shit out of people that lie.
look, Pax. This is why I'm. Look, it's not hurting anybody.
What are you doing? Maurice, I don't want your ass on my table.
Look, is it so wrong to want a little bit extra?
Where's the extra from?
Look.
It's not bad. It's to want a bit extra. But it depends on where that extra is coming from, Maurice.
It's not coming out of the boss's pocket. I promise you that.
So where's
I'm just going a little bit of a baseline.
a baseline?
Yeah. Market price for drugs? I bump it up a little. That's it.
And you're gonna tell me that's not coming out of the boss's pockets?
No. That's not coming out of the boss's pocket. Because I'm paying... Look.
Maurice.
I'm not paying anything extra.
It ain't gonna be me that blows a whistle on this. But somebody will. The moment you get fucking caught, you know what happens.
I know that.
So why are you doing it?
Until this whole pendulum thing fell into my lap, I had nothing. And now you're asking me to give that away to you.
Why'd you do something legit? Like, why didn't you do something legit?
Define legit, because we don't have legit in this business.
I don't know, why didn't you go into something like racketeering? Tax evasion, shit like that.
Racketeering and tax evasion. Alright. Like, that's lucrative business here.
Drugs is enough to get your head blown off over. Especially in this city.
Look. It's not like I'm doing anything big. It's not like I'm the one who's actually buying shit off the cartels.
Doesn't have to be big, that's the problem. A few bucks here and there can still get you done in.
Who's gonna be that petty?
Really?
Really? Who's gonna be that petty over like $2?
Is it $2 though? Was it more like 50?
It's an extra $2 on a dime bag. Instead of 10, I'm selling it for 12. Okay?
And how much business you getting?
It's been nice. It's only been going on for a little while, and it's gonna end here in like a week. Because I got kids to send to college, Pax.
Does he?
I mean, do you know?
I don't know if I know.
How much do you know about this man?
I don't know. I want to insight that.
Go for it.
Because now she's like legit concerned about him. Jesus Christ.
You know him to be slimy. This doesn't really feel slimy.
Why don't you talk to the boss or to your capo? Instead of like taking off the top.
Because if I told him that I personally am struggling with my own shit, then it makes me look bad.
Maurice, we're family. We look out for each other.
Yeah. And we're also not family. I have no blood relations to the boss at all.
And you think that I do?
I don't know. You could be the boss's niece for all I know.
I got no blood relations to the boss.
Then why are you...
Maybe you should use your head. Skimming money off the top, that's not safe. If you got kids to send to college, it's not worth the risk.
No, yeah, you said more likely to... Look, I'm not the smartest.
But you got a brain in your head.
Yeah, but even I didn't even think of fucking tax evasion. I mean, who the fuck thinks of that shit?
Maurice, pick up a book. Go on YouTube. Have a look at the history of our kind, of our people. You'll get plenty of ideas, I promise.
Maybe I'm just not cut out for the business anymore.
There's no leaving.
I know that.
You know there's no leaving.
I know that.
Maurice, you're cut out for it. But you
Didn't
gotta
make it big or
think
go home, right?
that doesn't always apply. At least you haven't ended up in prison yet. That's impressive.
Yeah. Look.
You got what it takes, Maurice. You just gotta use the brain that's in between your ears. Because I know you have what it takes.
I don't know that I do, and that's what scares me.
Have a bit of faith in yourself.
You're the one who said I should be worried about fucking up this shit with the fucking drugs and fucking Randall Pendrum and all of this other bullshit.
No, you're not going to be fucking up with Randall Pendrum. You're going to be making big with Randall Pendrum. Like I said, this whole thing, that's to benefit you and me. And the boss. But don't go taking off the boss.
I'm not.
Don't go fucking pull over.
I'm not.
Do you think the boss is going to look at it like that? When the boss finds out you've been taking money off the top, which is what it amounts to.
Like you haven't?
I haven't.
Bullshit.
I haven't.
Bull fucking shit. You can't be the boss's lapdog and having that kind of ear at your beck and call and not have done something with it.
What do you think?
Lean him a little this way, lean him a little that way. Come on, you can't tell me that he doesn't listen to you.
Oh yeah, he listens to me. To an extent. But only because what I put in front of him benefits him. The moment I'm no longer useful, I'm out that window. I'm at the bottom of the river.
No, you're not. You'd sooner
If I'm
toss
not
one of
useful-
us out than you. I see the way
If
he
I'm
looks
not-
at you.
If I'm only a drain, I'm more expendable than you are. I'm not one of the family. I'm just a hanger-on.
You and me both.
I have my
guess.
use. Oh yeah, but there's a difference. You're a maid. I'm not.
Barely.
So why not make something of it?
What do you think I've been trying to do?
Well, taking money off the top isn't going to get you any closer to the boss.
What, buddying up with you a little bit closer will?
Absolutely. You know I've got connections with the boss.
I know you do. I see it. I see the way you
So
look at him.
use it. Maybe learn a thing or two.
This whole business. He just kind of ruffles his own hair a little bit. Pax, I
If
gotta ask
anyone
you a serious question. Friend to friend,
ask,
off the books.
ask, ask away.
Are you two fucking?
No.
Because I see the way that you look at him.
I would do absolutely anything from the boss because I owe him. I owe him my very existence. You and Julian, you both saw the state I was in when I first came to you, to the family.
Yeah. Kind of a mess.
Boss pulled me out of some horrible shit. I owe him my life.
I'm just worried about you. That's all.
Worried about me?
Yeah.
Why would you be worried about me?
Because a man you owe your life to, you'd do anything for,
Absolutely.
whatever he asked,
Absolutely.
it's a red flag. Just saying.
Well, you know I'm crazy as they come.
Yeah, but just watch out for yourself.
I should be saying that to you.
I think you're the one
You
under
know,
more scrutiny than me.
I always thought you were the one to punish those that caused issues.
Yeah. When they deserve it. When it's justified.
What's the justification?
Now my brain's all fuddled. What are we talking about now?
I'm just thinking about what you told me tonight. It's a bit of hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
Well, I mean, you're the one that punishes the people that fuck up, and you're here telling me that you're taking money off the top.
What are you gonna do? Punish me?
No, I'm just confused.
When it's justified. I'm not petty.
So what's the justification?
Justification?
What
Every,
counts as a justification?
everybody does it. Nobody gets caught. Because we're all just people.
So everybody does it means it's all right?
Which means that the punishment isn't over and above.
So it means that punishment isn't necessary because everybody does it.
What, are you expecting me to be some kind of hard ass or something?
I thought you were.
I'm not so much a hard ass that I chop the fingers off of somebody who skims $1.
I just thought you were better than that, that's all.
Better than what?
Stealing from the boss.
The way that you put it like that, it sounds like you're gonna snitch. And I might as well just go in front of
I
him
ain't gonna
myself.
snitch. I ain't gonna snitch.
Then
Although,
why the fuck do you keep bringing it up?
because it bothers me. It bothers me a lot, Maurice. It's a very difficult position.
Look, I said it's gonna stop. It'll stop.
When?
I said a week.
Why a week?
Because I need
If it's
time.
only, if it's only a couple of dollars off the top, why does it have to stay on for another week?
Because I gotta reset prices. I gotta do a whole fucking reset. You think that takes a day?
For a couple of dollars?
Yeah. Minor tweaks here and there in a bunch of different places. It's called embezzling. You don't take a lump sum off the top, you take cents off the dollar for little bits of shit. I gotta do a whole fucking rescale.
Just so long as you stop. Because like I said, Maurice, I don't want your ass on my table.
It won't.
Or worse yet, you don't end up on my table and you just vanish. Because
Really?
you sure as hell know the boss does that.
Not if you have anything to say about it.
I don't always have anything to say about it.
Like hell you don't. And he kind of starts going towards his car.
Fucking idiot. fuck am I gonna do with this? Shouldn't have asked. Shouldn't have asked.
Could solve the problem right now and eat it. We could snack. I bet he'd
I
make a
can't
tasty
eat
snack.
Maurice.
Oh, but he would
I
be so
can't.
tasty, though.
Not him. Not Julian. Not Don. Not fucking.
Anything for the dawn, right? This will be
Everything
swept under the rug.
shit.
He never has to know.
He has to know.
He'll kill him.
I know. I fucking know.
Save him the trouble. Save the dawn the trouble.
I need Maurice alive. I can't.
He's as good as dead. I know how this works.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut until after the meeting. After the meeting, I can paint Maurice as indispensable, and then he won't be. He won't be.
This could go horribly wrong.
I know. Fuck, I know.
Save him the trouble. No one has to bat an eye.
I can't just go taking out a madman. That's worse than what Maurice is doing. Family first. Always. She makes her way back to the car.
Like he said, he's barely family.
Fuck off, he's family. He's one of us.
He said it. He's the one who said it.
Just because he said it doesn't mean it's true. This is not my place to put punishment. It's not my job in this case. Maybe I can save him. Fuck.
In the meantime, Lupe, you're off to go see Baron Kane.
I am indeed.
The wonderful Baron Kane found at his usual spots. He has a couple of places that he regularly frequents or has people visit him at. You know, the last place was the mansion, which was very, very nice and very accommodating at the time that you saw it last. And so you get yourself together to meet him at this particular little this particular mansion of his, and you're escorted through the house by the staff toward his office, and you're left at the door to knock at your leisure.
I adjust myself. There's 1,000 things rolling through my mind right now. The biggest thing that I feel most of all is it's like I'm out of my league. Everyone so far that I've met within this group, coterie, they're all under very different circumstances. Mademoiselle Lacroix is just inconceivable to me. There's so much she can do. So much she's already done for. Senorita Cosetta has been accommodating and also knows a man who frankly terrifies me. It seems to be very close with him. That Don Hernandez.
A very terrifying man indeed.
Senor Knight. I haven't seen much of him since the other evening. Frankly, I'm under the impression that he might dislike me. Within the first night, I stole from him. Tried to, anyways. And he threatened me.
It stands to reason why somebody might not have a great first impression of you.
Simply. I don't know. I've been given opportunities now. Multiple times by Mademoiselle Yvette. Mademoiselle Le Croix. Everyone else calls her a different name. I get confused. But it isn't to say. I just don't want to fuck it up. That's really how it gets down to. So, second chance. Here we go, Austin. And I go ahead and once I'm arranged inside I go ahead and knock on the door. Bennett Kane's lobby, his office. I'd like to posture myself.
And you walk into the office with the double doors, the walls stacked with books, a pair of chairs facing each other with a coffee table in between, and a desk beyond that. Some sort of, almost like it's out of some sort of movie or novel that you see that this library is. And you see that he's kind of relaxed in one of in the chair next to the desk. Looks like he's reading one of the books. As you enter in, he barely even looks up from the book and kind of waves you over.
Buenas noches, Berenque. And she will come over and very delicately take a seat.
Good evening.
I certainly hope...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I certainly hope your past few nights have been well.
They've been quiet. Which is well in my books.
I hear quiet is good.
Quiet is good. Because when it's not quiet, that means trouble. And I'm not exactly a big fan of trouble. Even in my youth, I was very much a by the book sort of an individual. Everything was tidy. Everything was well kept. Everything was in order. Everything was perfect. That's how I maintain myself tonight as well. So, What news?
Tonight, on the matter of orders, I've come to pay rent. Following matter of tidiness and as well as keeping things quiet. As I mentioned before, I also enjoy those things. Quiet is something we're good at. So, an asset owed by the Corrie is being targeted by the Dawn. And I've taken the liberty of assisting in keeping it squarely within your control. I don't know the full extent of it, I will be honest. But I know that you and Don Hernandez seem to be of, at least the word is that you two seem to be of some degree of conflict.
That's when he kind of perks up and closes his book and leans back in his chair and kind of eyes you up and down a little bit. I see that they have filled you in.
Again, I do not have all the details. It is merely a gist of it that I've been mentioned more so in passing. But
the fact that they feel comfortable enough to let you in on their goings on is hopefully a step in the right direction.
Yes. You've been most accommodating, and as have you. Your hospitality has been a great fortune to me. And in order to try and appease that, meet you halfway. But I have learned of these complications. I've discovered that this asset that's being targeted, well, I made sure that it stays within your control so that we can avoid complications with the Dawn. As you said, you like quiet.
I do.
So, in that matter, I wanted to bring to your notes what this asset necessarily is. And at that point, she will pull out the card from her pocket and slide it over the desk.
He kind of looks it over back and forth, kind of flipping it between his fingers a little bit. Kind of looks back at you. The senator. Well, senator in running.
Please, senor.
This is a complication for Don Hernandez. Am I understanding that correctly?
I believe that the proper point is Don Hernandez is targeting the senator. And should he win the elections, then, well, that is an asset that would be within his control. I believe it would be within your interests that his power is yours. Public relations, I believe.
Yeah, that's rather tempting. But the election results won't be in for another few months. He's still on the campaign trail. Who's to say whether he wins or not? And if he does not, well, that's one less thing I have to worry about. But if he does, you said that Hernandez is targeting this individual. Now, when you say targeting, you say, is that What does that mean?
I believe it might have a lot to do with the campaign itself.
That Don Hernandez might not like that he's on the campaign trail.
Perhaps.
But you don't know.
Not with all entirety.
Well,
What I do know is that he did have an interest in him. And having political power, I imagine, could potentially cause complications.
well, potentially. For anyone who does get involved with a senator. Risky business, getting involved in politics. Especially ones so close to the national sort of power levels.
And yet,
Beyond Texas and goes to the United States.
and yet, we know of two factors, I imagine. That if he is more so within your control, knowing that you can be quiet, it remains quiet. You have the necessary subterfuge for that power. But I will be quite honest, as Don Hernandez is, well, a gangster, for lack of better terms. I do not fully believe that he would, and consequently could be a threat to revealing not only himself and his organization, but by grand scheme what we are.
Yes. I've worked too hard to settle roots, as it were, for it all to get, oh, how do the young people put it these days? Dirt hit fan?
Yes, I understand.
I see. This is tricky. Tricky indeed. And you're the one who picked up the card.
Si, senor. Should you ever need to get in touch with this individual, I'm sure something could be arranged.
Well, I suppose contacting you directly, I would need your number.
This is true. And she will go ahead and provide him with the phone number directed to the line that she gives the coterie.
Okay. You've given me much food for thought. Interesting puzzle piece indeed. What is he planning? What does he want? What does he stand to gain from all of this?
It's certainly a question.
It's not like he has any stake in this city. You notice that he's kind of thinking out loud now. It's almost like you've disappeared from the room and he's kind of gone into like some kind of thinking out loud sort of mode.
If I might,
Mm.
Baron Kane. Of the circumstances between you and Don Hernandez, as I've said, I'm not fully clarified on it. I just know a gist, that there is tension. But I'm very interested in hearing your take of things.
Hernandez. Well, do you know what the word dawn means?
I believe it is a title.
It is a title, yes, it is a mortal title.
One allotted to gangsters.
Powerful gangsters. Ones who run whole syndicates.
Like cartels and such.
Yes. And to my understanding, a lot of underground dealings in this city and beyond. In the whole of Texas, even. It's rumored that Jose Maria Hernandez is king above them all.
I mean, it is your domain. So are you not king of all of this part of the city?
No. I'm a baron. There's a difference. See, what you're speaking about is more akin to a Camarilla prince. One who declares domain and declares only their dominion over it. That everyone beneath them is subservient to that will. And Don Hernandez runs his business like that.
And from what I have seen,
For all intents and purposes, you and I are peers. I am simply a negotiator. I am simply the management. But other than that, I claim no power over you. You are free to do as you like.
it feels like I'm granted a grace that I'm not too familiar with.
I have no ill will toward you. I have no ill will toward any kindred in this domain. The fact that we even call it a domain is a little sickening. But the only thing I ask in return for staying in the city is for everyone to do their part. Or rent, as some have colloquially called it. I have simply adopted the terms that the neonates use. This is an interesting piece of the puzzle. He kind of flips the card in his fingers a little bit more. And there is a lot of thinking that I have to do, so while I cannot simply oust an individual from whatever makes them happy in their night-to-night life. A watchful eye must be kept.
If I might. Most in the city, I'm still an unknown. I was wondering if perhaps I could be the watchful eye for you.
You would be willing to case Pender. Stalk
That
him,
is some.
if you will.
I'm quite good at it.
Kind of quirks a brow at you a little bit.
Not that I have experience in stalking. No, I have experience in hiding. It comes with the whole. It comes with the blood, I suppose you could say.
Comes with being a daredevil. Risky business, indeed.
A little bit of fun for me. But it would serve as a great benefit to you, no? And, as you stated before, we're peers. And from peer to peer, I have hospitality to repay.
Well, if you're volunteering for an assignment, then be my guest.
I'll gladly take this on.
Try not to get yourself tangled into too many webs.
I do not shock waves unnecessarily, sir.
Good.
Silence. And quiet. That is what we're good at, no?
Well, from what I know about Ravnos, quiet doesn't even begin to state the quirks of the Wanderer.
Well, I hope I can only show you pros moving forward. Now, I don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate the moment you gave me for now, and hopefully this is something that will be sufficient for the time being.
This is sufficient. Should your voluntary mission prove successful in one fashion or another, do keep me informed.
Absolutely.
Consider yourself assigned to Pygmalion.
It is appreciated. Truly. I'm wishing you a wonderful evening, Baron Kane.
You have a good one too, Miss Rosales.
And pause for a moment. There's a little bit of shock on her face, but she continues out the door after a polite nod, closing the door, and once it is shut, she just... Oh. How did he know? That was... She continues on her way out of the foyer back to her van. Very much unnerved. Very much unnerved.
I believe that is where we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll find out more about what these kindred are going to be up to. So don't go anywhere, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 20 of Austin by Starlight. Pax has found herself wanting to do some investigating of the goings on to the north of the domain, the northern parts of Baron Kane's domain, where she and some of her compatriots within the Dawn's family have seen or been bombarded by, or something else, by something that may have been haunting in the graveyards and in the construction areas to the north. And so Pax has decided to go to one of these graveyards to further investigate for herself. And when opening her eyes to the sort of inky black nothingness and revealing the rest of the world around her, looking at the veil and those that haven't crossed into it, Pax, you see a number of things. You see wisps of energy, what you think is energy. You can't be 100% certain. You haven't done a whole lot of supernatural investigating yourself. But you imagine that that's what that would look like. Little things that glow. You see, as you're walking through some of these places, that it's almost as if memories have been imprinted on the fabric of the world around you. Nothing that seems to have any sort of form to it. All of it is silhouetted, or like it's pressed up against a piece of, like we mentioned before, fabric. The details skewed. But it's clear that there have been some notorious things that have happened in this graveyard in the past. You just get that sort of gut instinct and feeling, that sort of hairs on the back of your neck standing on end sort of feeling that you usually get with these sorts of things. And you're looking specifically for something that might be able to talk back. You kind of speak out into the blackness of the night. The graveyard is not very well lit at all. There's only a few overhead lights over the street nearby. But as far as visibility, it's fairly low, save for the bits and pieces of things that you see in the sort of overlay. And so if you're looking for something to interact with, I would like you to make me a wits and insight.
Wits, insight, huh?
Mm-hmm. So 2 successes.
Yes.
With that, nothing really stands out in particular. Are you willing to succeed at a cost?
What's the cost?
The cost? That's interesting. For now, 1 aggravated willpower damage.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. You sort of wander off of the graveyard a little bit. Something seems to be drawing you drawing you a little closer out. And it's almost like you could see the sort of haze in the distance on the horizon. There's plenty of lights and everything coming from the city behind you, but something weird, something drawing you out. And when you look out towards that horizon, you see that there are some things of energy potentially that are heading towards this haze.
I'm gonna follow them.
It seems like the haze might be originating from somewhere a couple of miles out.
Is it like they're being pulled in towards it?
No, it's not really pulled, just kind of drifting along.
So you said it looks like it might be a couple of miles out.
Which is about where you know the construction sites to start.
That haze is really weird. Looking around the graveyard, there's no other sections that look like that, is there?
No, this is beyond that. The things around the graveyard just seem to kind of drift, linger, replay over and over.
A lot of activity. She's gonna pull a piece of paper out and a pen, and she's gonna start taking notes on what she's seeing.
Okay.
How many she's seeing, what she's seeing about. It's not like she can take a picture of it. So notes is probably the best that she can do at this point. And she's going to note down where that haze is so that they can go and investigate that area a bit further. Now, that construction zone, that's, I'm assuming, for the inner city bypass that's being constructed.
Yes, that was for the bypass that was being constructed, which, from what you can gather, has all but halted in construction. Like, no one's saying a word about it anymore out in things that you can you can tell, and nobody seems to be particularly bothered that it's not finished.
She makes her way around the graveyard a little bit more. Does anything seem to be watching her moving about or anything like that? Or is everything just in its own little bubbles?
Since you did succeed at a cost, you do notice that one, as it's kind of meandering a little bit, does seem to the sort of silhouetted face seem to watch you for a moment, but it's like a face is pressed against fabric and you only see the outline.
I'm going to make my way towards it. Excuse me. Yes, I can see you. Excuse me.
Make me a charisma persuasion.
Charisma persuasion.
Let's see how good you are at persuading it to maybe speak up.
Can I re-roll those 3 dice?
You can. Or you could succeed at another cost.
No, I'm just gonna re-roll. Jesus Christ.
You hear a shrieking sound. Unnaturally loud.
Oh, Jesus! Why? What was the point of that?
It just seems to ignore you now.
I'm going to approach it again. I'm going to reach out for it.
Your hand waves through air.
She just flaps her hands through it. It's like, hey, I know you know I'm talking to you. Don't you ignore me.
It still seems to ignore you. Go make me a charisma persuasion one more time.
She's going to annoy this thing into paying attention.
Ooh, that's 4 successes on a crit.
I'm not going to bother re-rolling at the moment.
All right.
I have a lot of work.
You hear that shrieking noise one more time, and you feel as if a weight is now pressing down on your shoulders, forcing you to your knees.
That ain't gonna make me leave you alone. Talk to me.
Why?
I have questions and I need them answered.
You're bothersome.
I imagine that construction work over there is also bothersome.
What?
What's woken you up? You and everything else around here.
I only see you.
Right now. It's kind of busy here, isn't it?
What do you want? It kind of, you can feel that sort of presence again.
I want to know why you're awake. What's keeping you here?
It just kind of cocks its head at you a moment.
She like mimics the action.
Am I dead?
Yes.
Funny thing, that.
What year is it to you?
Don't know.
What's your name?
Don't know.
Do you know how you died?
Hate. 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 It just gets louder and louder.
What do you hate? What's keeping you here?
Make me another charisma persuasion.
What's with all these twos, damn it?
You will parent, or are you doing something else, or you want to succeed at a cost?
What's the cost? What's the cost?
I'm thinking. What would be appropriate? What would be appropriate for Pax? Nosy little Pax. Huh. Something involving Pendrum goes horribly wrong.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Okay.
Let's give you some plot fodder. Okay.
Wow. Wow. Didn't expect that, but okay. It looked as if this apparition was going to spiral into some kind of cycle. But somehow your words seem to distract it from its own spiraling. You.
Me.
You're the reason I'm here. Everything about you stinks. Stinks of blood, money, drugs, trafficking. You do it all, don't you?
Who were you?
Family.
You got a name?
Hernandez.
Your name?
Hernandez.
I know Hernandez.
My name is Antonio Hernandez.
Antonio. ST, do I know that name?
Intelligence politics.
I'm gonna willpower.
Okay.
Oh my god, it actually worked.
The missing grandfather of one Jose Maria Hernandez. He shared that with you in confidence.
Hold on. Hold on a minute. Antonio Hernandez.
You thought he died in Mexico.
You shouldn't be here.
Neither should you.
No, no, no,
Walking
no, no.
dead.
You're supposed to be in Mexico.
And you're supposed to be dead. Yet you walk.
Boss Hernandez said, Jose Maria Hernandez.
Filth.
Your grandson is filth.
Disgusting.
What happened?
I've no time for 20 questions.
Well, as far as I can see, you got all the time in the world.
Much like you, I have places to be. It starts to
Well,
hover away and disappear out of your sight.
Shit. Shit. That was something. What did Boss Hernandez do? I should probably let him know about this. Shit. What the fuck? She's gonna start making her way back to her car, but this is all. She's not sure what to think about this.
It's almost about time to go meet with Maurice.
Yes. She's gonna go get in her car and go to meet up with Yvette.
In the meantime, Yvette, you and Mr. Pendrum have been schmoozing, talking, kind of mingling and meandering around this little event space, talking with the locals of Austin, getting to know certain people, certain dignitaries, and whoever else might be in town as of late. You're standing beside him, near him, as you're wont to do, doing your best to play the attractive guest and the appropriate bodyguard. And he has been greeting people fairly amicably and has been doing so all night long. You know that it's getting towards the end of the event when suddenly, out of nowhere, it's as if the chandelier is starting to fall right on top of him. I need you to make a dexterity athletics to either protect or shove him out of the way.
Very well then. What?
All right. So you're able to snatch him out of the way. But what you realize when the chandelier crashes is that it looks like a gunshot went off to get that to go down, and you didn't hear it.
I proceed to end up covering his body with my own.
What's happening?
Stay calm, sir. We appear to be under fire. come with me here towards the exit.
People are screaming. People are scattering. Security guards are looking to scatter to try and find whomever may have done this or whatever may have done this, and and he follows your instructions. He follows your instructions to the letter.
Quickly, I kind of go over it in my head. My eyes cast a glance at the windows. The presumption I end up having is that if they had a straight shot, they would have taken it. The ability to snap a cable or a chain with a bullet is very impressive. But if they were trying to do that, then it would mean that they did not have a straight shot upon him. It's a indirect attempt. But they could see him. So my presumption is that it will be going from outside of the building.
And you do see a crack and a bullet hole in the glass.
I proceed to end up taking him towards a stairwell. I presume that this building has a internal stairwell, one that is not exposed to the exterior.
Yep, you can find one easily.
Okay. That ends up assisting things as it keeps us in position. I place him in a corner before I end up observing, as I am sure that others are panicking. I'm trying to end up keeping between them and himself, taking a moment to take stock. Shooter is outside. At this point, allowing the officers and security to secure the premises is first and foremost the important position.
Mhm.
They have already ended up pulling the trigger. Time is not on their side. All I need to do is end up keeping him safe for a moment. I am thinking of was parking outside? Is there an underground parking lot, or is there?
Parking's adjacent and open.
But it would put us on the outside, right?
It would.
Very well. When I end up placing him to the wall, I'm checking physically if he is injured or anything of the such now that we have a moment. And at that...
He's a little bruised, but otherwise no worse for wear.
Vest is intact.
Vest is intact.
Fantastic. It's at this moment I will start to escort him towards the door. We can use the crowds for cover. And at this moment, I will bring him to my car as opposed to the others. They have done their duty, then they probably know which vehicle he came in, but would not, and would be watching for that, but probably not mine.
I would like you to make me a composure and subterfuge.
Is this a high demotion situation, or?
It's more of a blending into a crowd sort of situation.
Quatre.
All right. You feel pretty secure that you're able to blend into the crowd between yourself and Mr. Pendrum, and that getting to your car is not going to be a terribly hard feat. It's just a little bit of a distance away, and so you quickly, with the crowd as they're kind of rushing past as well, with him in tow, get yourself and him to the vehicle, kind of lowering yourselves as inconspicuously as possible to protect yourselves as much as possible. What do you do next?
This moment, I have him enter into the back seat, laying down away from windows and hopefully not being spotted, keeping him down. This is, and I give the vehicle a quick once over to be sure that we were not led here into a car bomb or something of the like. Would not be unusual.
Give me a wits and investigation if you're doing this very quickly.
Unfortunately, investigation is not my strongest suit, but we will make do. Duh.
You're fairly certain that you can drive away with nothing worse for wear.
No brake line cut, no nothing. Fantastic.
Everything looks fine.
I get in my vehicle and tell Pentrum to keep down as I end up putting it into reverse, pulling out of the parking lot. It is time to speed away. I am not going directly to his abode, but at this point, bringing him in a roundabout way, preferably. We are looking for alleyways, we are looking for anything that ends up meaning that there is very rarely a opportune straight shot, especially from the, if we can, driving away from what I can only guess is the shooter's position.
You drive through alleyways, make sure to avoid highways, you go through back roads and use all of the back channels to kind of go in a roundabout way to the Pendrum address. And it's only just then that when he's at the house that he feels like poking his head out from looking into the seat this whole time, kind of looking back at you. Are we here?
Monsieur. She puts the car in park, being sure to make sure that the door is as close to his home, or to his home door as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Exit out and observing the premises, being sure that there is not a secondary shooter.
If you're making a look around, then a wits awareness.
See? Duh.
All right. Seems safe enough. You make him you angle them yourself and him to the safest way possible and get him into the door.
I close the door behind us and proceed to tell him to not rush in. Tucking him into a location that should be difficult to spot from the windows. Mademoiselle Pendrum? Mademoiselle?
Yes?
Would you come here this evening?
And you see that his wife does come out of the kitchen. What's going on?
Nothing to be concerned about. I start to walk towards her. My eyes going up and down hallways as we do. Have you had any disturbances this evening?
No, none.
She looks around the corner to make sure that no one has a gun to her head to make her respond as such.
There's nobody there.
Maman, Monsieur Pentrum, if you would be so kind as to... Well, family affairs. She draws her gun and starts to sweep the house, just to be sure.
Miss Yvette?
After she doesn't acknowledge the individual, Mademoiselle Pendrum, at that exact moment. After securing the house, we are clear, Monsieur Pendrum. Pardon, Mademoiselle Pendrum. It's a situation, part of the job description. Paranoia and such. She starts
too young to be paranoid, young lady.
Occupational hazard.
I suppose. And she and Randall, connect together, and he starts to try and shush her and try to get her to stop worrying or things like that, because this should be a regular enough occurrence.
Monsieur Pendrum, I would suggest that you be sure to get in contact with authority in order to give your half of the story now that you have arrived at safety.
Yes.
I shall remain here until, well, backup arrives.
And he goes to make the appropriate calls. And your replacement does eventually arrive for exchanging the shift over. You kind of make sure that things are settled on the Pendrum side for documenting the event, making sure everything is in good order before you feel comfortable leaving them to the rest of the night.
Yes, I'm going to have a talk with Mademoiselle Pax about her. The answer to their particular. Let's just say that I am now fully listening to the response. And I'm not sure if I care for it.
And so, it's about that time that it's time to meet with Maurice. So you meet at the designated meeting spot. A little place not too far away. That Pax has already met up with this individual, and we're simply waiting for you. What do you do?
I walk towards, after picking out the glass of chandelier from my attire and vest, and be sure to keep a handful of it. Start to end up making my way out, going to walk towards Mademoiselle Cosetta and Monsieur Alto.
Evening, Yvette. Thanks for coming.
Good evening.
Monsieur Alto, I presume?
That's me.
Merci beaucoup, Mademoiselle Cosetta. She opens her hand and drops a whole bunch of what appears to be shattered glass.
Eventful night.
I was not expecting you to end up being so open with your response, Monsieur Alto.
What do you mean?
The bullet with the message.
I didn't send any bullets.
Well, perhaps not you. I am sure Mademoiselle Cosetta will end up acknowledging your lack of presence during the evening, as always. Of course. I do, however, have some worries, as you can imagine, when I agreed to this meeting that, well, let's just say Monsieur Pendrum's existence to be removed simply over a counter-offer. I would have thought there was more prudence than that.
I didn't.
Was I mistaken?
I didn't. I didn't call for that.
Yvette, that would not have benefited us in any way, particularly not Maurice.
No. In fact, I'm wanting that guy alive.
That's what I thought, and yet it would seem that someone would disagree with that stance.
Motherfucker.
It
Well,
would
I can
seem-
tell you it's not the family.
I have your word on this, Mademoiselle Cosetta.
Yes.
Very well. Then let us, until proven otherwise, presume on that note. Do these terms seem acceptable to the both of you?
I don't know what terms we're talking about. You haven't given me numbers.
I was talking about me not end up retaliating on the fact that you and somebody ended up taking a shot at my particular interest.
Like I said, I didn't order any fire. So there's nothing to retaliate for. Not to me.
Am I convinced of this individual's sincerity?
It's an insight.
Well,
Yeah, you're fairly convinced.
very well then, Monsieur Otto. Let us discuss then what it is you really want. I am presuming money, me?
Yeah.
I have had talks with it, Monsieur. He's given me an interesting figure. Would you care to tell me what your figure is?
Pay for his campaign. And he gives you some sum of money that would be appropriate to a senator's campaign.
A significant amount.
A significant donation, somewhere in the tens of thousands.
And I would presume that that was considered a investment, oui?
Yes.
Yvette reaches into her coat. Mademoiselle Bax would recognize this as Yvette reaching for a pistol. And quickly draws. Holding
Pax
a...
The
steps
fuck?
them.
Go ahead.
Pax steps in between them. As the
And-
moment that Yvette's hand moves towards that.
And when her hand is open, she has a large envelope. I presume this may be enough for a start. Consider it a finder's fee on top of what is owed.
Pax, do you take the envelope or do you let Maurice take the envelope?
Pax will take the envelope
You'll find there's about $5,000 in there.
and then she'll pass it back to Maurice.
Finder's fee.
You came into this for the money, expecting to make good on your investment, oui?
Yeah.
I would say that is a good start. And that is simply the finder's fee. In good faith.
Okay. Turnaround time. I was expecting by the end of the election.
Well, you were expecting by the end of the election. We'll see what I can do. Until then, if anything were to happen, unfortunate as it is between now and then, I will be looking in under every rock to know what happened. And at this moment, I will be leaning heavily upon some old contacts. I am aware of Mademoiselle Cossetta's relations. Hence how I knew how to come to you. To understand. And as I am not a complete stranger to the game. In fact, something you may find amusing. I can end up saying that I have a member of the family that you may have heard of in your American movies. He is from Chicago. And Monsieur Capone would have been far less lenient in his time.
You're related to Al Capone.
She just looks at him, dead stare, deadly serious, that she will openly claim that she has a blood relation to Al Capone.
I want to insight. I don't believe that for a second.
Oh, it's an insight.
I'll automatically fail it. Yvette is not lying.
Jesus Christ.
Though I will end up saying that
In
when
fa-
she says blood relation, you don't think she means biologically.
Interesting.
Venture are very particular on their lineages.
Okay. So,
I did say Yvette has her fingers in many a pie.
and that's in full come election day.
Preferably here beforehand, if possible. I will.
Of course.
That being said, I want your word. As Mademoiselle Cosetta has ended up saying that you are in good faith. That he is not to be touched.
He won't be harmed.
I believe this is where we shake hands. She extends hers.
And he extends his.
Pax steps to the side to let them shake.
And she does so.
Do you rouse?
No. I want him to know on how cold I can be.
And you can tell that your hands feel like ice to him.
Très bien.
right.
She releases her grip. Mademoiselle Cosetta, thank you so much for being so accommodating. I will be sure to get in touch, and as to put Monsieur Rauto's mind at ease, I will be sure to be delivering the payment directly to you, so that it
Of
may
course.
arrive at appropriate parties, and myself and Monsieur Rauto will not need to be speaking to each other again.
I appreciate it.
Always at your service, Mademoiselle Cosetta. And she makes it a point to bow to Mademoiselle Cosetta.
Always a pleasure doing business with you, Yvette.
And to you. Be well, Monsieur Rauto. Keep in good company.
Will do.
She starts to make her way to the car.
Leaving Pax and Maurice. Unless Pax is going elsewhere.
Pax is going to watch Yvette leave. She stands with Maurice for a little while. And she turns back to him and says, "Now, to make sure that my ass is clear, you didn't order a hit.
I didn't. I swear to God.
So who the fuck is after his ass?"
I don't know.
He's a politician. It could be any fucking number of people.
Who the fuck would have gotten wind? If anyone.
It might have something entirely unrelated to this.
It might be, but I'm fucking
Either
paranoid.
way. We're both paranoid.
Her hands
I
were
think
like
this-
ice.
She's a cold-hearted bitch. What do you expect?
No, I've carried away people that you've... It felt like that.
I don't know. Some people just have cold hands.
Shit.
But I think this is something that Boss Hernandez needs to hear about, don't you? That's an investment that's had a hit on it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Might also be wise to let him know the down payment has been made towards the debt that's owed.
Exactly. Yeah, that bitch scares me.
Good. She's scary.
More than
Part
you
of her
do.
job.
And I know the kinds of things that you can do.
More than me? Oh, I'm offended, Maurice.
Did you see that dead stare?
Yeah. I've had that dead stare more than once.
Ugh, gives me the heebie-jeebies.
She is scary. So long. But it's fine so long as you don't piss her off.
Don't intend to.
Maurice. She keeps important people alive for a living.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Don't piss her off.
Don't intend to.
And now you know what I mean by associates.
I met some scary bitches. Some scary dudes. Julian can be mighty scary when he wants to be.
Julian's a pussycat.
Don't let him hear you say that.
Pussycat with claws, but a pussycat nonetheless.
That's only because he likes you.
There's something to be said about being liked.
Yeah, likability's good.
That being said, being liked and being feared are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, shall we get this over with?
let's go.
All right. The both of you in your separate vehicles make your way towards the boss's manor. So, get that there. In the meantime, is there anything that Lupe's doing?
Um, actually, yes.
What are you doing, Lupe?
I was told to go stick out Mr. Pendrum's place. No, understand that this is well, this is Mademoiselle Croix's birthday, but I'm a little curious. I mean, as long as I'm not going into the building, the property is public. See?
You're talking about the Pendrum residence?
I'm talking about the state building.
Or the state building? That's plenty open to the public. Most of everything is closed for the night, though.
That's where the shooting happened, right?
That was at a venue. There was an event going on, so it was at a nice venue. It wasn't at the state building itself.
Oh. Well, shit, then I don't know shit. I wouldn't know necessarily where to start then, so... Yeah, no, I hate to write myself out like this, but I don't really have anything. I don't have anything that really adds to the story right now.
Okay. So it is. And so Pax and Maurice do eventually meet up at the boss's estate. Both of them entering together, I'm sure. And after the usual rigmarole of getting pat downs and searches and everything else from everyone on the staff, and eventually led to the boss's office. He does greet you, the both of you, into the room. Good evening. Things have just gotten... Well, I'm sure you have updates.
Absolutely, boss. Actually, I believe Maurice here has something to tell you about first.
Well, and Maurice kind of goes into and talks about the fact that there was a shooting at the event where Pendrum was, but he didn't call for the shooting, and so it had to have been someone else. And the boss kind of strokes his chin and kind of looks at you both. Well, quite a conundrum here, isn't it?
Also, Yvette LaCroix has offered to pay off Pendrum's debt.
Yvette LaCroix.
Yes. She has an interest in Mr. Pendrum.
I'm not usually one to question where someone gets their funds, but I'm curious nonetheless. But, that being said, is it going to be on the same kind of timetable?
By the sounds of it, yes.
And Maurice is backing up everything. Yeah. Hate for this to be a storyteller to storyteller conversation.
Maurice here has brokered the deal himself.
Yep.
Quite well at it, from what I saw.
Yep. Did so exactly. And you see that the boss kind of stares him up and down a little bit. Good work. And so it's just what we would have originally expected when it came to the... She's buying off this debt, as it were. And he says, exactly that. Much like we asked of him, Yvette LaCroix is going to be paying back. Same amount. Pax.
Yes.
How likely is it that we're going to get the money?
Well, it depends on whether Pendrum gets killed first, I would say. Yvette is one to keep her word, but, well, in most cases anyway. But if Pendrum gets killed, she's going to come after us, thinking that we're the ones that did it. As it was tonight, she assumed that it was Maurice here who set up the hit.
Which I didn't. I had nothing to do with that.
Yvette is paranoid at the best of times. Much like myself, it's one of the reasons why I keep her company.
Is her paranoia justified? He looks over to Maurice again. Boss, I swear I didn't do it.
I can vouch for Maurice.
You're vouching for him.
I definitely believe he did not do it.
Good. Because that is not an asset that I want to lose.
After all, I don't think that would benefit him in any way.
Nor would it benefit any of us.
That's exactly right.
So, with that being said, we're going to double our efforts to make sure that that man is protected.
As it is, I have a feeling that he might be one of Yvette LaCroix's clients. She works in the bodyguard business. So I don't think you have anything to worry about there. But a bit of extra protection on him wouldn't hurt. I'll be sure to pass this information on to her, of course.
I see. I don't particularly care for those under my supervision being attacked like Mr. Pendrum was tonight. So, what to do?
I would like to volunteer to speak with Mr. Pendrum. I want to find out if he's got any particular enemies that might try to take him out.
Every politician has enemies, Pax.
It'll give us a list at least.
if you feel that that is worth your time.
He's a valuable asset, particularly if he gets into the Senate.
Indeed. I can think of a couple of people in this city who might actually want to prevent that from happening. Especially if they're informed. Like Miss LaCroix.
You're not thinking.
I think on the night that we all met with Mr. De La Rosa that it became very clear where Mr. Vet LaCroix's loyalties lie, Pax.
She may not be aware.
Aware or not, she serves her Baron.
This is true. Would you like me to look into it?
If you might. I would
Of course, boss.
appreciate being well informed as to her activities.
I will look into it.
Is that all you have to report?
I still have more, but I would like to speak with you about it in private, if that's all right.
And the boss dismisses Maurice. And Maurice exits out the door.
Firstly, I have something to discuss with you about our dear friend Maurice.
You see that he stands from his chair now and kind of walks towards you a little bit more casually. What about Maurice?
He's skimming off the top of the drug operations that he's in charge of. He said he's gonna finish it up in the next week or so. It's not something I could keep from you. I don't want to see him get hurt, but
You know what has to happen, Pax.
is there any way you could give him a bit of a chance? Maybe let him pay it or something like that.
And have the family feel like I'm going soft. Am I a soft man, Pax? He kind of looks you in the eyes.
No, boss. No.
And he confessed this to you.
Tonight, after I dug it out of him.
Which is what you are very good at.
He said something offhanded and it caught my attention. So I followed it.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. How much?
Couple of dollars. He's adding to the top of each price.
He sells a lot of baseline product.
That he does.
He's passing on that cost to his people, and I'm surprised he's making sales at all.
I believe he is an asset, boss. One that, given a chance, could become quite useful for the family.
He's merely a soldier.
Yes.
Barely even good at doing that. The little bit of tasks that I put him to, and he's cheating. And you're going to vouch for him? When he's
Only that he could be.
incompetent?
I'm sorry, boss.
Pax, I'm doing everything in my power to make you as good as a made individual can be, but backing a man who is cheating the family. Vouching for him? I can't look away.
Yes, boss.
I can't turn a blind eye to that. And now wants to involve other members of your coterie. I understand you have your own associates and you're trying to build your own sort of web and interconnected things, and I respect that. But right now I'm at a loss. What do you want me to do?
Give him a warning?
You
Keep an eye.
You give him the warning.
Yes, boss.
And I want his pinky finger on my desk tomorrow.
Yes, boss. I have one more thing. You know how you asked me to investigate that graveyard and the disturbances in the north?
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to one of the dead there at the graveyard, and I could scarcely believe what it was that came from them. He said, well, you're not going to believe this. He said his name was Antonio Hernandez.
It's a common enough name.
Except when I asked him if he knew you, because that name is so familiar, you know. He started calling you Phil. He said that he knew you. He was filled with rage and hate, boss.
Very interesting.
I just thought that was something I should pass on.
Very interesting indeed. Thank you very much for your report. Now go.
Yes, boss. Have a good evening. With that, she scurries out of the room as fast as she can.
And you scurry out of the office, leaving Boss Hernandez behind, and finding that Maurice is calmly walking down the hallway still on his way downstairs towards the exit.
Maurice, wait.
What?
Come with me.
What?
I said, come with me.
He looks at you confused and kind of follows you along.
Pax is going to lead him to the room that she normally does torture in. Doesn't say a word. Opens the door and shows him in.
Pax?
Please take a seat.
What did you do?
Please take a seat.
Pax, you gave me your word.
Take a seat, Maurice.
I don't like where this is going.
If you don't sit down, this is going to be worse.
You gave me your word.
Maurice.
You don't have to do this.
You don't understand.
What do I not understand?
I do have to do this.
Do what?
If I don't do this, you're gonna die. Please sit.
And I think that is where we're going to leave the session for tonight.
Pax is already down. Let's just keep kicking her.
Yes.
So, because that is something that we will leave to the imagination of those who are so inclined to the morbid. Pax, for putting Maurice in danger, and then inflicting pain on him, that will be 3 stains.
Never act against the family. The guilty must be punished.
That is 2 stains that are wiped out based on your convictions.
But then again, she also snitched.
She also
and she didn't keep her word.
Didn't keep her word. So that's 2 and 2. They negate each other.
Yep.
It is still 3.
Oh, shit. Yep. She can't get around it.
Nope.
Ah. Bye-bye, humanity.
I don't think there are any other stains to inflict upon my characters today. Is there?
Looking over everything, and I think I'm Gucci.
I think you're all Gucci. I don't think the other characters snitched on anybody, did they? Ooh, skin of your teeth, Pax. It hurts. It hurts so much. It hurts
She
so much
is
that you
doing
nearly cry bloody tears in front of him.
she is doing her absolute best to separate her emotions from what she's doing, and it's making her question everything, absolutely everything, because all of her touchstones, all of her convictions, it just, none of this is right.
None of it's
That
right.
and Don Hernandez was keeping stuff from her, very obviously. Everything about this is wrong.
And it hurts. You nearly cry bloody tears in front of him as you're doing it. But Maurice is without a pinky finger.
She will make she will make sure to treat it properly and bandage it up properly and take care of it so that it doesn't get infected and whatnot.
Yep. And that is that. So, that completes the roleplay session of this part of the story.
Wow, yikes.
But we get to move on to some other things, like mechanical things, like who recovered willpower.
I
Yvette.
Everybody did. Yay! Yay!
That's the aggravated that I recover?
Yep, you can recover aggravated.
Yay!
Yep.
Beautiful.
Beautifully done. Love to see it. So, next we're going to move on to some experience. So, the characters on the chopping block when it comes to experience are Pax, Yvette, and Lupe, who are going to be our candidates for the audience poll, because the way we do experience here is much as the similar way to the way that Derek does things in his games, in that there's the one for all the players who came to the table across the board. That is your weekly reward. But then we started to deliberate around who had some really good role-playing prompts, like who moved the plot the furthest, who had the best scene, and who had our best line for the night. But the last little bit is up to you all. You all get to have a hand in how these people progress in our little game here. So, who moved plot?
Mademoiselle Lacroix? For connecting the dots.
Yvette.
I will not argue it. Not the most thing.
All right.
If I had to vote, it would have been Pax.
All right. Don't forget to. There's a Twitch poll going now. So Yvette gets that first bit of experience for moving the plot. Who had our best scene?
That has to be Pax.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
So, I'm also going to vote for myself because either of those scenes with Maurice and also the kicked puppy with Boss Hernandez.
There's a little bit of all of that today. Exactly. So yeah, if it's unanimous, then it's Pax. Who had our best line?
Yvette quickly reaches into her jacket. Immediately, everybody's backside puckers just a little bit.
If You don't understand. If I don't do this, you're gonna die.
It was good too. It was good too.
Deciding factor, Spectre.
Uh,
I believe this will be a good down payment, or pardon, the finder's fee moment, or the I gotta do this moment. That's really what it comes down to.
Maurice, for what are you gonna do? Punish me?
You can't vote an NPC. You're contrarian.
So I guess in that case, since it was technically Pax's scene, I'll give it to Pax. Because yeah, bitch, yeah.
I had to fight my tongue because she always did say yes. She did end up punishing him.
Zulu Foxtrot calling you a Chad, Spectre. What a Chad.
Sigma move.
Yes.
Damn right.
Damn rights. But yeah, I think then that's Pax for our line. So we still have a couple of minutes left on the audience favorites, so we can cool down a little bit as things are winding down here. How did you guys enjoy the session?
Oh,
It's really
I loved
good.
it. I loved it for PAX especially, just because that roller coaster.
I'm sorry, Mox.
No, why are you
Pax, I'm just kicking the damn puppy.
Are you kidding? That is literally what PAX was designed to be.
Yeah, exactly. I understand. I completely understand. I still feel bad about it, but I also feel it's one of those I feel bad, but I don't feel bad because tragedy is my shtick.
It is supposed to be a showcase of the horrible things that can cause mental illness and the way it can fuck with your head in terms of morality. The things that she sees as moral, nobody else sees as moral. The things that she sees as the right thing to do, like with that thing with Maurice, like that should have been a really clear showcase of, I thought that you were a hard ass and this is how I thought things were supposed to be, but according to you, it's not.
Ironically, her conviction from Maurice is more of a projection than anything else.
That's exactly right. And that
At least so
projection
far.
has come from her own experiences with him, which have been skewed completely.
She's
because
Malkavian. She's a little delusional.
a wee bit.
I want to
But
make
it's
a point
also-
though. Oh, sorry.
It's also come from the life.
Yep.
Malkavians, they are represented by a broken mirror. Yes, Pax projected onto Maurice. But then she turned that into a reality. In the broken, warped way, now Maurice is the unworthy, who had to be punished.
Yep.
Pax.
That's exactly right.
You get 50%, 48% of the votes. Thank you, Volvo, for contributing 19,000 channel points towards that vote. Pax, you get the audience favorite. Yep.
Holy shit! Thank you so much, guys.
I mean, Pax is waifu bait. I 100% blame Volvo for that.
I am so glad that everybody loves this character so much.
I love her.
Truly.
I love her, and I love to torture her a little bit. I feel like I do you dirty sometimes by kind of kicking the puppy.
She's a hard character to play. I give props to you, Mox.
Oh yeah.
That's tough.
She's really not that hard to play though, but that's probably because of my own fucked up experiences. Like a lot of the stuff with how she reacts to things has come from my own sense of fucked upness. So, yeah.
Mm.
I don't find her difficult to play. In fact, I find her incredibly easy and cathartic sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I get that feeling.
Yep. Definitely understand that. Well, I definitely appreciate the three of you for coming to the session tonight and giving an astounding performance. Love you all to bits. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't have more planned with Lupe. I was just like,
that's okay. That's okay. 100% okay. It's
the
a
only the only other thing I could think of was to like spend time trying to get to know the regulars at the bar and trying to develop that as a herd, but then when I realized it just wasn't really adding to the story, I'm like, nah, I'll just do that on downtime. It's fine.
yeah.
That's what Lupe does on her downtime.
She had the rest of the night to do that as her downtime to kind of mingle
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So and
Getting to know the patrons and is harassing Martin. So
you know, it might not necessarily be a bad thing, but that is what Lupe is doing. Ooh, Raven. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Volvo. Wow. Thank you guys so much. All of the support that you guys do for the channel is absolutely 100% appreciated. You know, follows, raids. Thank you to Zulu Foxtrot and the others who raided in earlier today. And of course, Derek for doing the first raid of the night, as always. And definitely love to see it. Yeah. So, we do have at least one streamer who has maybe some things that they're doing tomorrow. Derek, what you got going on your channel?
Well, tomorrow we're going to be seeing on if we can get a couple more of the, well, San Jose by Night, City of Glass character illustrations done. And I've been working hard on those. Everybody who's been following the channel knows about the game here coming up. It is, in fact, the game that we are going to be kicking off the new year with. And it features CoffeeCat and Ravenstar who's in the chat. Volvo also ends up having Lethality Complex, Ivalon, and a newcomer, Keys. So we get to end up breaking in some new blood.
All right. Fantastic. Well, we've got of course Moxiepox and the lovely Spectre Deflector. Both of them are lovely, honestly, but don't really do any streams between themselves. But they're good peeps anyway. Got anything that you guys are wanting to shill?
not at the moment, no sir.
No sir. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for coming along on.
I do have something to shill. If you haven't subscribed, liked, followed CoffeeCat, please do so now. Go check out his YouTube and his website.
Yes, I have social media. It's called YouTube and Twitch.
I did a social media thing.
That out. He's about to skip over shilling for himself.
Well, I was about to get the shilling for myself, but I'll let you do it for me, Box.
True.
It's fine. But yeah, I definitely subscribe, like all of the things, doobly doo, all of this. We do a lot of things around here. But YouTube and Twitch are definitely the big things that we do. We obviously broadcast live here on Twitch for Austin by Starlight at 10 p.m. Central, and then for Rebirth at 7 p.m. Central on Thursdays. And then, of course, the VODs do go up usually the same week and sometimes on the same day for for both games. So definitely be on the lookout for those on YouTube. We're very close to 100 subscribers on YouTube, and we're very close, about 66 followers away from 500 followers here on Twitch. And at which point, when I reach both of those goals, we're probably going to do some kind of appreciation stream where I may do a slew of things. Who knows? It might be some big ol' 8-hour session where, I just show you all love and shower you in the things that I do. Because I do things. Um,
And the stuffs.
and the stuff. All of which you can find. Yep, all of which you can find on coffeecatpresents.com. And so that's my website. And everything, all the support on this channel just makes it all doable. Really, it makes it fun. It makes it doable. It makes it, worth it. And, uh, I'd probably still be doing these things even without. But it's much appreciated when you guys do all the things. So, yeah. But with that being said, that is all from us in the weird city of Austin. So, say goodnight, everyone.
Au revoir et bonsoir.
Buenas noches.
Maurice, it only hurts more if you don't sit still.
Cue intense screaming.